Hello, Archangel here with a discussion on The Walking Dead. If you haven't seen the ending of Season 3, then I suggest you stop watching, as well as if you haven't read that far into the comics past the prison part, because there will be plenty of spoilers. Last night's episode, it was far different than I expected. I assumed more of the group was going to die, but none of the group died. I thought most likely Carol, either Glenn or Maggie, one of them. I even thought the baby would die, because in the comics the baby does die. But none of them died. It was just mostly the Woodbury people and the governor flipping out. I guess that's cool, but me hyping up the whole week, like who's gonna die, oh my gosh, I'm afraid who's gonna die, and then the rumors about Daryl dying, that freaked me out because Daryl is one of my favorite characters. But none of them died. They all lived, and then they even got all the people of Woodbury to join the group. Now my predictions for next season are that the governor is obviously still alive, and he's going to come back to Woodbury eventually, figure out that all his people are gone, start up a new army, more ruthless people. So he's going to be like more like he was in the comics. He was like angrier, he was more evil. And I feel like this season was just like the fall of the governor, and next season is like the real governor that people saw in the comics, the original one. And this worries me because in the comics, Rick loses his hand to the governor, and I was so glad at the end of the season that Rick didn't lose his hand. I hate when favorite characters of mine lose limbs. I'd almost rather them die. I'm not entirely sure why, I just don't like when they lose their limbs. But now next season, Rick has the capability of losing his hand, and Michonne could still get raped by the governor. Governor could still kill a bunch of people. Now what I was also thinking was when Rick brought all the people from Woodbury into his prison, I feel like they're mixing the Alexandria prison story together. Instead of Rick going to Alexandria like he does in the comics, he's just going to run a small town at the prison. And then instead of like the Savior group or with Jesus, I haven't read the comics. I've searched up on the stuff, but I haven't read them. I think they're called the Saviors, and their leader is Jesus or Jesus, however you pronounce it. And instead of them coming after Rick and the town at Alexandria, I think it's still going to be the governor. And that means, if they follow the comics, that the governor is going to kill Glenn, like Jesus or Jesus kills Glenn in the comics. And Glenn is one of my favorite characters. Maybe not after this season, because he was kind of a little bitch in this season. I miss the cool guy, the stealthy guy running around with the baseball cap. He's all into technology, but now he's just trying to be a leader, and I find it kind of annoying. But anyway, Rick bringing all these people to the prison opens up like a bunch of new like scenarios. These people could be included as main characters, or they could be like the people from season 1 at the camp, where you see them but you don't really know who they are, or they don't really have a purpose, they're just there. I'm hoping that they take more main characters out of this new bigger group, because they keep killing off the main characters and we need more of them, just so like they can have better story arcs, more conflict between the people. And now that Andrea's dead, Rick doesn't have anyone to be with, because he was with her in the comics, I believe. On the topic of Andrea being dead, I know it's terrible, but I hated her. I hated her so much. Every decision she made was bad. She would have saved everyone's lives if she would have just killed the governor that night with the knife. And then previous seasons, she just messes up everything. She almost kills Daryl. She's just depressed the whole time. It was... I mean, Laurie Holden, I believe her name is. She's a good actor, but her character was terrible. I hated her. So yeah, that's what I think that's going to happen next season. I think that the governor will come back. They're blending Alexandria in the prison parts, and then the real battle, the one that is like in the comics, will happen next season. And then after that season, after the end of season 4, they will have to move on from the prison because the governor comes in with his tank or whatever and then blows stuff up, and it makes it inhabitable. And yeah. So whatever you guys think, put down in the comments, and I will try to answer them and give you feedback on what I think, and then we'll just have a little discussion here. Thank you for watching. I am Archangel, and hope you have a nice day.